right, folks, welcome to episode 23 of Chasin Tails. We got a lot to talk about, recap from this past weekend racing all over from San Diego out to Lake Hopatcong, New Jersey. A lot of things coming up with the Summer Nationals this weekend. We got Corey Peabody. He's driving right now. He's going to hop on once it's safe for him to talk to us about his second Gold Cup championship. So, lead into the weekend, San Diego. We talked about it a lot leading up to the weekend. The GPs came with 13. They had some attrition issues, but all in all, I think the final was a pretty good show. What do you think, Kyle?
Yeah. No, I think the final was definitely the highlight of the weekend, as it should be. I think the preliminary heats were maybe not as entertaining as we would have hoped, but we saw some really fast speeds, and some guys performed pretty well. And like you said, the final was a good show, and congrats to Jeff on getting a win. I know they've been through it pretty hard this year, so it's I know he's got to be feeling good. Mike's got to be feeling good, and that whole team's got to be pretty happy to end on a good note.
For sure, definitely a rebound. I mean, I think it was basically we're going to show these guys on Chasing Tails because none of them picked us, and we're going to come out here and show the whole field up. So good for them. I mean, that time trial lap was incredible. I know he said he eclipsed 168 in the straightaways. Didn't quite make that 170 mark we talked about, but we're getting closer. I mean, that boat was rolling. To run lane 5 in the finals, pretty dang impressive. So
Yeah.
Good for them going in this off season, like you said, after all the troubles they went through and motors they had to build all summer. So give them a little boost of confidence rolling in the next year.
Yeah. Yep. Unfortunately, I was sad to see it because I was rooting for him. I think I actually, if I remember right, I think I picked him to win. Didn't Brody didn't have the luck on his side again. It's kind of been one of those years for those guys, but I think everybody in GP that's been doing it long enough has been through that. I mean, we went through it last year, been through it before too. It's kind of just part of the business, I guess.
Yeah, definitely. Like Dan Camfish said, they won't be outworked. Even if they're having bad luck, they're not. That team's not going to be outworked.
No,
They
and I
put that
didn't
thing
even
back together.
yeah, I didn't even see like all the pictures of how extensive the fire damage was until today. The fact that they had that thing back on the water next day is impressive.
Right, no doubt. Yeah, that's a lot of damage you got to roll through to fix, and all the wiring that got tore up. I mean, it's a job that usually takes a week at home just preparing for a race. So it's kind of incredible, but I'm sure they had a lot of people help and all
Some
that. And
Blecky magic.
oh yeah, he's going to work his magic. And then
That guy
obviously got to
doesn't get a break.
I don't think he
no,
wants a break.
never. Doesn't seem like they're going to ever give him one. They just keep buying boats. I mean, who
Yeah,
knows?
right.
Might be more on the way.
Yeah.
But how about I'd say give a shout out to Richards Racing, the GP10, man. They finished almost every heat. I think they only broke a propeller in one heat and broke down, and maybe another breakdown, but they finished every heat from the whole GPA season, Valleyfield, everything. The boat just starts getting faster and faster. They won the Grand Prix America Championship. Obviously APBA High Points comes with that as well. So hats off to them. I mean, they just bought this boat this winter, right?
Yep.
Yeah, so then to
Yeah.
turn that
I mean,
around and go run it. Obviously, Kevin, I think it was his first time in it, and I think again, what do we talk about that Chasin Tails effect? They were on earlier this season, one of our first guests, and now he goes out there and wins the championship. That's pretty cool.
I think that's what happened to Paul Barber this year. He never, we didn't have
He
him on
never
the
was on.
podcast.
Yeah, we just
We
kept
gotta,
picking him, but he was never on.
Paul, we're gonna have you on in this off season and next season and get you some luck, man.
This will be the first one ever where he's live in his shop, just covered in carbon dust.
It's the only way we're gonna get him, man.
Yep. Yeah, Kevin just commented and said he had one engine, one prop, and ran out of gas. The 3 DNFs, that's not shabby for that team. I mean, the 2-boat team is hard enough as it is, but man, they are a strong team, good team to have. Obviously, they looked like they had a lot of people out there at San Diego. I know everyone enjoyed the barbecue Friday night. That's pretty cool to get everyone together. These GP teams, I feel like you work so hard that you don't get to chat a lot throughout the weekend, so it's cool they did that.
Yeah, I think one thing I noticed about them, I noticed it in Madison especially, like even with the troubles they were having with the 17 and the fact that they're kind of just slowly building with the 10, like they seem to have a good time the whole time. And boat racing can be grueling and it can really get you down at times. And they seem to have a lot of fun along the way, and I think obviously the success they had, but being able to enjoy it and have that success is a pretty cool thing.
Yeah, definitely. Not on the other side of it, the 17 finally got some good heats in there out of San Diego. It
Mm,
looked like it was starting to get there. Austin's getting more comfortable with it. Obviously, that mile and 2/3 is a little tricky for some of the new drivers.
yeah,
GP12 did really well out there. We only see them out west, so it's good to see them get a good finish. Hops, obviously, I think they finished second in GPA points as well. I don't know who finished third, if we hung on to it or what, but we'll see when the results finally come out.
yeah. Overall, I think it was a good weekend. Even I watched some of the 1 liter heats, and Brad Sanchez, that was pretty sweet blowover. Good to see people
Yeah,
stick the landing like that all the time. I think last time I seen somebody land one like that, I guess it was last year, it was Dustin and Madison. But
yep.
glad he's all right, and I think the boat ran
Yeah, I think he
next
got
heat.
back out
So
there.
yeah, I mean, you don't see blowovers that result in just carrying on very often.
Right, no doubt.
And props to
Yeah,
those
no,
guys because I tell you right now, if I drove a 1 liter on a course that big, 100% going over.
I'd be able to drive one because I can't seem to get out of the pits and down the course and get it up on the pipe. I don't know what they got against me, but them Y boats never run when I drive, so I'd be all right.
It was cool seeing
But
the
yeah,
Circus one. I haven't seen that boat in a couple years, several
yeah,
years.
yeah, they had a good showing for sure. And obviously the Y1 and Y18 were deck to deck most heats. I
Mm,
think Jeff wound up winning the final if I was correct.
I think so.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but
It
definitely
was.
I was watching though, and I feel like that the elephant in the room is going to be there, especially in GPA calls this year. Of is a mile and 2/3 the way to go for the race fans? Obviously, it's super cool that you can run those kinds of speeds. And I told Grandel the other day, I said, okay, you can be the mile and 2/3 champion. You are the fastest mile and 2/3 boat, but we need to narrow these courses up and dial them down a little bit. I said we need to go back to the videos and see like what's the competition like at different racetracks. Is a mile and a quarter the best option? Is a big turn, small turn the best option? I felt like in the preliminary heats, especially, a lot of the show was lacking compared to what we've seen all year. And you took 13 of the fastest Grand Prix out there, so it was kind of one of them deals of show me if that show is right. And I don't think it lived up to it. I think the final was awesome because you got 7 of the fastest boats, and everywhere you look, there's a boat running at 160 mile an hour. But other than that, I feel like they just got spread out, and it's so hard on a big course like that. But definitely, Chasin Tails fans, we need your opinion because our opinion is only valid for a small percent. So love to hear from you on that.
Yeah, I think I agree. I think the thing that I would say hurt the show the most, and I don't mean to like knock the drivers or anything because I've never driven on a course like that. I've never driven a GP, but when you are on a big course like that and it's already prone to kind of turning into a parade, it would have been nice to see everybody at the start a little more.
Yeah. Yep.
Um, again, kind of just like Tri Cities, that was a pretty poor showing for starting in every class, like even the unlimiteds. I only saw of the ones the heats I watched. I only saw one like really on the money start, and that was the final.
Yeah.
And I think
Yeah. That
Corey and
doesn't help.
Andrew had one in their the qualifier that they ran close in, but just I don't know. I'm not. I don't want to judge because I've never done it. I've never raced on any of those big courses, and it's a little easier when your timing marks like 7 seconds or something like
Yeah.
that. But
Yeah. You're
I don't
on a
know.
big
I
course.
expected a little bit more.
Yeah, on a big course, you're actually normally taking your time and run from like maybe the buoy right before the start finish line.
Yeah.
I can't say nothing because last time I was on a mile and 2/3, I was on the backstretch when the start happened because I got lost. But I was in a T boat. I didn't have much motor to, go.
yeah.
Yep. But
But
yeah, it's just one of them things. Like I said, we go back. Like I was talking, I think Kyle Bipes about Madison and stuff like that, and I feel the best show on the water for Grand Prix in the past 10 years with our competition level has been Valleyfield, Detroit, and then Madison for keeping the boats together for multiple laps, always having action, never getting spread out by more than a rooster tail. I feel like if we go back and look at those races, there's definitely a recipe there. I mean, Detroit's fast. It's a mile and a quarter. It was a mile, I think, last time, but it's a big first turn. small second turn, so it necks everyone down, slows them down in that second turn. I think there's something to build off of there. And watching the race course at San Diego, I think you could do it. And I
Yeah.
think make a smaller second turn or something like that. And I think it'd be an awesome race course for the fans. I think we could amplify it because obviously them fans love Grand Prix. So let's show them what Grand Prix can actually be. In my opinion, like I said,
No,
it's
I totally agree.
valid to me.
I've always been on your side. The kind of offset turns. I just, it gives the inside boats advantage in one half of the course, and the outside boats an advantage in the other half. And obviously, there's speed differences regardless, but it gives teams or drivers boats a chance. Obviously Jeff got the job done from lane 5 anyway, but I just think more consistently you could see somebody win from an outer lane, and really make the final a winner take all thing versus chances are the guy in lane 1's going to win it, but if somebody else happens to beat him, sweet.
Yeah, for sure. And I mean, you see it in the smaller classes too. It's not as much in the Grand Prix because we were a little bit more spread out. But I mean, I remember watching the last time we went to Detroit. The 350 show was just the most phenomenal racing I've
Yeah.
ever seen for 350. So that's good. And I mean, I love having a big first turn because that's when you're all bunched up together. You can get through there clean. And then, all right, now we're kind of spread out. There might be 3 boats going into turn 2 instead of 7.
Yeah.
And that makes it a little safer for us, obviously.
Yeah, I think that when you look at like the mile courses, and some of the tighter ones, like take Rockville for example, I think that's where that course, in terms of a show, like takes a hit. You could say is that first turn. If you roll into that 5 deep with GPS, 5 aren't coming out. I
Right,
think
exactly.
We saw Robin went over, and like Robin didn't even necessarily get cut off. He just, the spray got to him, and at that point you can't see, and you don't got to go very far, and you're up in somebody's rooster tail. And
Right.
the guy on the outside's shoot a couple arms reaches from a seawall, so
Yeah.
it's not like he's got much more room to give anybody. So I definitely, I liked your point about like that having a big first turn, help everybody get through their clean, and then it's a drag race to that second turn, and then the race is really on.
Yep, exactly. Yeah, I like that. Like I said, it's all up Chasin Tails fan. That's what we use this platform for. Is we need to start worrying about what the fans think. Obviously, us drivers could have opinions. I know people might slam me and be like, "Oh, you should have been out there." Like, but I watch as a fan. That was almost good at sometimes to step back and watch it. Like for me, Bobby driving in Tonawanda, step back and watch the show on YouTube and all this, and be able to give my opinion to like HRL with some of their live stream and stuff. It's hard when you're just in the heat of the moment all the time. You think it's good, you think it's great, but just take a step back. You're like, all right, this, and this can change, and then move on to make things better. Like you said, boat racing, I feel like in a whole, especially the Grand Prix class, is on a huge rise. So let's continue that momentum and keep these conversations going for what's the best for the fans.
Terry said in San Diego on the island they went crazy when the GP started up.
Yeah,
It's awesome.
That's
I
pretty
bet.
awesome.
That's, I mean, 7 boats. I remember what it was like, 7 boats in Valleyfield. That was insane. So I can
Yeah,
imagine out there that was pretty cool. And at least all 7 were on the front line. That was definitely a cool image there.
yeah, yeah. No, I think no, like you said, I think it's we have to be cognitive of what the paying customer, and even if they're not a paying customer, just the people that are here supporting our sport, um, think. Because at the end of the day, I've always said this about other sports. Obviously we're not football; we don't got $1 million contracts, but like a football player, while an athlete, is still an entertainer. At the end of the day, the majority of your money comes from a TV deal worth billions of dollars, and your job is to go out there and put on a show and entertain people. And yes, there's talent involved with it, and there's goals that the competitors have, and a desired target. But I don't think that can too far outweigh the end game, which is to put on a show. That's one thing I like
Right.
about some of the smaller races we go to. The head referee or the race director will kind of remind the drivers. Rocky Fork, for example, they were like, if you get out, if you're quite a bit faster than everybody, you get out ahead and you can beat people. Like, put on a show. And I think even when you're not going all out, just racing next to a boat, even if you're pedaling it, it's still a lot of fun, and you can still learn a lot that way.
Oh, for sure. And that's one thing I always argued against like course records because that just makes you want to go out there and push to try to break that record. And that's not good for the fans. Is it good for us? Cool. Yeah, we set the record. Yeah, that's awesome. But at the end of the day, the fans are what matters. The fans what gets us back to these race sites, makes the race sites money. So some of the things I always thought fans first and I thought we were doing a good job at it till I went to like Monster Jam and I'm like, wow, this is fans first. They do the whole
Yeah.
fan zone thing. Everything's an entertainment factor. They got an announcer on there like screaming like, let's go. Here's what's coming up next.
Yep.
It's like, holy, this is all geared to the fans. They have fans voting, things like that. It's really cool. And that's, I think sometimes people got to step out and learn things from other sports as well, like you're saying, for the entertainment factor.
Yeah, like in Monster Jam, and I'm not saying that I expect this out of people in boat racing, but like those guys will straight up go and destroy their car for the crowd.
For the show. Yep.
They'll go do a triple backflip land and the thing will practically disintegrate for the crowd. And I know they got money, a lot more money in the sport to be able to repair those things and carry on. But it more just to the point of like they're willing to do things that maybe don't suit them the best, but it does suit the sport and it does suit the show. And I think that's something that I think a lot of boat racers are getting on board with, especially some of the younger ones. I've enjoyed that my last year and a half, 2 years chatting with the guys. Like we have more fun when we have close races and we acknowledge like, I like watching Eddie and Grant and those guys go at it because I know that from my perspective as a fan watching them race, that's entertaining. And I would imagine they feel the same way watching, me and Matisse, me and Jacob, and, any of the people in the 2.5 or the 350 class. Like that's what people are there to see. They don't want to, the speed's cool, but like if it was just about the speed, then we would just run one boat at a time.
Exactly. Yeah.
We just got to,
go ahead.
We just got to convince these people that going after the buoy hunter shirt isn't quite the show for the crowd we're looking for.
I've never seen so many people want one. Jimmy Stewart was like, I got called for hitting a buoy, but I don't think I really hit it. Do I get a shirt? I'm like, hey, I'm gonna bet, give it a couple races. You're gonna hit a buoy, you're gonna earn that shirt.
I talked to Bites today. He's getting some more made up.
Nice. It's about time. He's a little slow. Some River City Printing is a great company. Obviously, we all love them. We wear their t-shirts, we get them, but you gotta stay on that guy. I'll tell you what.
I can't believe how many buoys were hit this year. I don't think I've seen this many buoys hit in my lifetime.
It's insane.
Yeah. Yep.
Look, Gim's looking for his.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think overall San Diego was a good success. I can't remember. I think it was Kip Brown, had a post that put it pretty well. It was one of the better shows this year. Especially from the H1 side, the H1 events, they did a good job, much better job of keeping action on the water more frequently. That was the thing with Tri-Cities. I could barely watch that stream because I just, it kept turning into
You're staring at a crane.
Yeah,
staring at a crane for hours.
Next thing you know, I'm watching a stream of the race that I'm at. It's like, what's the point in that?
Yeah, so that was good for HRL. Good coverage for HRL.
Yeah. But hats off to Bayfair. I'm happy to see them back. I've never been, up until recently, I've never really followed the Unlimiteds too much. But I, in the short amount of time that I have, I know how much that race means historically, and it was cool to see them come back in a big way, like we expected them to. Yeah,
definitely. I think it shows H1's look, and maybe it was more Bayfair than H1, but H1 should look at it from their side too. Is you don't always have to have the same show at every event you go to. Utilize what's in their backyard, like out in California. The K boats are huge. The cracker boxes are huge. Obviously, they were able to pull some Y boats. Instead of trying to straggle some of the 350s there, they used what is popular in that area. And I think build upon that. You go out to Madison, obviously, hopefully we can have a good showing of skiffs. I think there's 8 committed from what I talked to this weekend that would go. And then they're talking about doing 2.5 stocks and possibly national mods. So maybe they'll do like a H350 national mod combo because they see it. You got to keep the show going for all these fans. And I know down at Gunnersville, they're talking about bringing in some offshore racing. So they'll run like a 5-mile course and other things like that. I think all these race sites are starting to see they need more. Obviously, if you go with HRL, they have their show. It goes everywhere they want to go. But some of these other series need to kind of figure out what works in their area.
Yeah, absolutely. I think with H1 being so spread out, and APBA in general being that way, like there is no one size fits all. HRL is very, even though it is spread out to some degree, it's nowhere near the scope of distance that you're seeing in H1 and APBA. So you gotta, like you said, you gotta fit the mold of that race. And that was the first time I've heard of them considering bringing offshores to Gunnersville. I remember, I don't know what year it was, but they did that at Detroit the one year, and that was really cool. It was the first time I had ever seen offshore boats in person, and I remember going up to them, I'm like, damn, this propeller is the size of my torso.
Yeah, yeah,
But it's cool because I think fans want to see different types of racing. We talk about it in HRL kind of provides that in with the skiffs. The skiffs are the different type of racing, and it's a switch up. It's a way to keep people engaged. And I thought the outboards in Gunnersville did a good job with that this year. Maybe they'll do that again as well. Texas Tri-Halls, Guntersville.
yeah. That's how I'm telling you. Every race needs Texas Tri-Halls. That's my biggest push. Even HRL, everybody get in those. If it's too rough, we just get in them. We'll do rotation, driver swaps. That's part of it, like an enduro.
So we got 6 HRL races, and I believe we got 6 classes, right? Or do we got 5 classes? Every race, one of the classes doubles up, and their drivers run Texas Tri-Hall.
Yeah, that's what I'm all about. Because you can bump and bang in those things. Are pretty cool.
Dude, that would be so fun. Can you imagine the 350 guys in Texas Tri-Hall?
Oh, my God.
They do it anyway. It'd be ridiculous. You'd have guys, it'd be like Mad Max style, a spike sticking off the side.
Yeah, that'd be good. I mean, especially when it gets too rough and you can't put on a show for the crowd. I bet they'd be like, all right, I hope for win next time I come because that was cool.
Right? Yeah, Texas Tri-Halls, the rougher it is, the better the racing is, man.
Yep.
Shoot, I want one of those just drive around on my lake. That'd be fun.
you need one of them, what are they, Thundercats, little inflatable boats? They're pretty cool too.
Just go blow
Get
that
them up
thing
and fly.
Yep.
I rode with Bob on one of them little aluminum outboard boats when we were on vacation once in Ogdensburg.
Bro,
and he tried to blow that thing over. So I'm not getting in nothing else like that.
I think because that was when we went on the boat trip with Burton and Kent and them, right?
Yep.
Yeah, I remember that vaguely.
Yeah, and we had like campsites across the river from each other, so we had to take the boat from one side to the other and almost dump that thing.
Yeah, those things. I've seen some videos of people on those things lately. They get them up just on the propeller. That thing's just floating.
Justin says he don't know what they are, but he'll drive one.
Let's try to find them.
You gotta look them up.
I'll go to YouTube.
See if Brandon can pull
try,
them up.
Try to pull it up.
They're electric, man. It's like imagine the outboard version of a skiff.
Yeah,
that's what they are.
But it's a V bottom, so you can do anything and everything with them.
Yeah. And they're just like every heat, they're bumping and banging, and I don't know how much like repairs they really have to do on those things. It seems like they just throw some duct tape on it and throw it back out there for the next team. Take care of it.
They must be super strong.
They definitely look like a blast. I saw we had another novice blowover this weekend.
Oh yeah,
was it Theoret?
Yep, Jaden or Nolan. It was Nolan, right?
That's crazy. Two in 2 weekends, or 2 in 3 weekends.
Yeah, I think another one fell out or flipped as well. I saw they posted on Facebook. I was like, oh man, that's kind of wild.
350 drivers in the making, man.
Yeah, no doubt. All right, here I got this. Texas Tri-Hall. Look at them guys.
Coming down the back straightaway.
And it's a single pin turn.
Into the course 3 wide.
Dude,
the 13 is Schubert. Tucks it tight to the inside.
Oh, look at him tuck his side.
The 88 of Joshua. Now Schubert's able to clear him and move his way up into 5th position. We've got 5 boats within 7.5 seconds of another.
The inside came out of nowhere.
Yeah. Oh, no, it ended, but things are wide.
The best part is NASCAR style start too. That's so cool.
Exactly. But I mean, if you had them at like any of these races, I would say you got to do a driver swap. Like after 10 laps, you come in, do a driver swap, and go back out for another 10 laps. That'd be wicked.
That would be fun.
But I see. Go ahead.
They should do that with the outboards. Yeah,
that would be pretty cool. That might make the marathon more fun.
Yeah.
So I see in the lobby we got Corey waiting for us. So We're going to go ahead and bring in the 2-time Gold Cup champion, maybe. There we go.
Yay!
Hey, what's up, man?
You got my shirts in that truck? Timmy's truck.
Timmy's truck. So
I'm headed your way. I'm headed
Perfect.
the opposite way.
Oh,
but you're flying the Hampton, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Cool.
I'll fly,
So-
later.
Nice. So, folks, this is the 2-time APBA Gold Cup champion. He came out strong in San Diego, had a few races with a little violations there, so I'm sure he was shaking going into that final, but somehow pulled it off from lane 3. Well, walk us through your Gold Cup final, Corey.
Well, it was a little shaky because the fuel issue. You know what happened with the fuel was one of the teams didn't have fuel delivered, or they didn't have fuel, so we had to divvy up all our fuel among teams and get it down to a certain amount of barrels. So then on Sunday we all ran a different kind of fuel after the other fuel was gone, starting over. So it burnt a little different, a little warmer. So our fuel was off for the first 2 heats. So going into the final, we had just been turning it down all day long, and we just made the right choice on where we needed to be, and it worked out real well for us. We were able to be legal, but the heat was good. You know, I went to leave the dock, and the boat, my 4 years of driving the boat, it's always started instantly right when I leave the dock. But it hung there for a minute, and it kind of proved exactly what I wanted to do. But I was able to get out there and get myself in a good position and go across the line with everybody at the start. We saw what happened.
Yeah, nice. Yeah, we saw you do a few different loops. I think you were one of the only ones that made 2 loops through the infield. Obviously, what you're saying, coming off the dock late, you had to improvise a little bit. Were you going for lane 1, or was lane 2, 3 kind of where you thought the boat should be for that final?
1, 2, or 3, I was fine with. Just as long as we're inside, you know, Andrew and the 40, and, you know, me and Mike, we get inside them. That's always the best. They're fast boats, so you always want to get inside those guys. But it worked out. Yeah, I went down and around the first turn, and then I cut the course as soon as I could, and then I saw where everybody was. And then I cut the GT course to come back on the backstretch and settle right into 3 real quick, and that's where I was able to hold it, get the score up, and then go to the start from there.
Now, did you know, because obviously Andrew had that penalty earlier, was that announced over the radio, or was that kind of shock after the race?
I knew he went inside the course. We were talking about it, but you can't just say, okay, he's out. You never know what's going to happen. The referee sees at that point, so you still got to do what you got to do to stay inside him, And it's unfortunate because, that sucks. It's not how you want a final to go. I feel bad for him, but it's just so much pressure on ourselves to do good in that heat because it's Gold Cup, and it just didn't work out. And I'm happy with my result.
Yeah, exactly. Can't complain there. So how does this one being your second one, how does it compare to the first one?
It's still really cool. I mean, don't get me wrong. The first one is unbelievable, the emotion of it. The second one is still all the emotion of it, but it's I handle it a little differently, But I'm happy, I mean, Gold Cup. I'm on there twice now, and it's something you can never take away. So I'm gonna try and get many more.
Yeah, exactly. Keep going. You obviously got the boat to do it, the team to do it, but You know, as a Gold Cup champion, I would think you'd find somebody else to drive the rig back home and you and the family could fly.
Here I am, driving the truck. Yeah, love it. We just went from 70 miles an hour down to 50 because there was a cop. Like, everybody's got to drop 20 miles an hour below the speed limit. It's unbelievable. I don't get slow. It's cool. I like driving the rig. It's fun.
Fair spot.
So,
Yeah, and you've gotten to travel across the country with your wife and kids. I think you guys all came out to Guntersville together. There's no bonding like riding in a vehicle that many hours together, right?
yeah, we built the truck around them, so they got their bunk beds, and tables, and all that stuff in the back. So, you know, it's a comfortable ride for them. They decided, because school started a couple weeks ago for us, I had to fly them back and forth from San Diego, but they wanted to drive, but I can't have them missing that much school right off the bat. So yeah, they got home yesterday, but my wife she drove there and back with me, so I'm not alone.
That's cool.
Awesome. So how much longer you got on this trip? You gonna make it back tonight or tomorrow?
Yeah, I'll be back in a couple hours. We just pulled into Washington about half an hour ago, so we'll be home in probably 2 hours. 2.5.
Nice. Yeah, you'll hit that nice Washington traffic soon, I'm sure.
I guess since you're flying, I guess I need to bring the margaritas to Hampton, huh?
Oh, I'm getting a rental car. I'm sure Tim has some too. No, he's got the slushy machine. That's right.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. When are you guys getting there? Thursday?
We'll get there Friday morning, me and Austin. Kyle's flying in with my husband Friday night.
Nice.
Yeah. Should be a fun
I'll get
weekend.
there eventually.
Hopefully this weather holds out.
Yeah, the weather's not looking great.
Getting the same stuff as last year right now.
Yeah, that's what I heard. That's alright.
It's alright, we'll manage.
Patty, Kyle, you got any more questions about the Gold Cup and obviously his good H1 season this year?
Nope, just want to say congratulations. Well deserved, Corey.
Yeah. I mean,
Thank you.
You know, it's been impressive to see you improve as much as you have in a short period of time, and you know, achieve what you've been able to achieve so quickly. And I know you got more big things coming in the future, man.
Just gonna keep trying.
It's all you can do.
I did have one more thing to mention. I was listening to the Rooster Tails podcast and when Jeff Campbell was on there and he was talking about the boats, and he said you're not quite fast as the boat yet. So does his opinion change after winning the Gold Cup a second time? Are you as fast as the boat is?
Nah, you'll never be as fast as the boat is, according to him.
That's good. That means he just keeps making it faster.
Yeah. He does a good job of that. That guy is crazy impressive of what that guy can do and how fast he can do things. It's insane. Watching him work is like something else.
Yeah.
The guy's got like 10 projects going on at one time, and it's constantly across the whole shop. He's got everything going on. It's just making things faster all the time. He's done a good job with the 9, and done a really good job with the 8, the 1, making it, you know, what it is. Great.
I see Stacy. I see Stacy over there. Congratulations to Stacy as well.
Yeah, she holds the phone so it's not bouncing all over the place.
Oh, okay. I keep seeing her nails.
Yeah. She's standing up in the truck holding the phone. So, yeah, all legit here, all legit.
There you go. But anyway, Corey, we appreciate you coming on while you're driving the rig back. Obviously, congratulations on the Gold Cup and your excellent season and H1 finishing second in high points. look forward to seeing all the changes. That's the coolest part about your team, I feel like, is the work you guys put in the winter and the changes you make on the boat. We're excited to see you guys get back to work. I'm sure this week you'll start prepping for next year.
Oh yeah, it's gonna start tomorrow.
Yeah,
Tomorrow's the start.
Awesome.
very cool.
All right.
We'll see.
There you
We'll
go.
see you in Hampton.
Yeah, we'll see you guys in a few days.
Yep. Have a
Safe
good one.
travels the rest of the way,
Appreciate
man.
it.
See you guys. Bye.
Can't,
All right.
you can't discount the dedication of that guy, man.
No.
Right. Driving the rig all across the country, obviously hopping on the podcast while he's driving the rig. That's pretty good.
He's always working.
Yeah, it's cool having. I mean, those are the type of people the sport needs and the sport wants. People that are all in on it like that. He's like I said, driving the rig. He's got his wife holding the phone up for him, and like you said, they're going to be working on the boat tomorrow.
Yeah, it just speaks volumes to our sport, not only from like J stocks all the way up to unlimiteds. It's still all about family. I mean, their family travels with them and all that stuff. That's what this sport's built on. And I think whether they're your friends, that we're all family in this sport. It's pretty cool. But yeah, I touched on it a little bit with Corey. When we built the GP35, I had the pleasure to talk to Jeff Campbell, trying to get some knowledge out of him and Corey and just the things he would spit out. And I would try to challenge him on things, and he'd be like, all right, well, if you do that, it's going to do this, this, and this. I mean, the amount of knowledge he has, obviously, he's taken that boat there. That's a 30-year-old boat, the oldest in the fleet. And it's the probably fastest or second fastest with the brand new Goodman real estate boat. So that's really cool and just shows that they never stop working.
Yeah. Damn, I didn't realize that boat was 30 years old. That's crazy.
Yeah, it started out as a 2-wing boat, so it had like an open air trap, and it was like I think it was the Coors Light boat at that point.
Oh, so it was the Coors.
Yeah, so they just kept modifying it, and it's now won 3 or 4 Gold Cups and championships and all that. It's a fast boat.
Got a feeling you might be seeing that boat in the museum one day.
Yeah, probably. I would bet. It's probably going to wind up having some of the biggest history to it, most wins maybe, and stuff like that. Obviously, the most work done to it.
One thing I did mean to ask, did Jimmy Johnson drive the Muncie's boat in
No, it got postponed till next year. Something happened. He had a prior commitment he was doing, and so it got postponed to next year.
Gotcha. Yeah, that'd be cool. That's a cool thing to look forward to next year. Obviously, they put on a good show this year, and I think that will be be a big highlight for people. And I think that's something that can draw more fans. And I think that's a really good. I know it wasn't done from a marketing perspective. It was done more from a historical and a relationship perspective. But like Jimmy Johnson posting something on his Instagram or Facebook or whatever about getting to drive a hydroplane, and then people are like, "What the hell is a hydroplane?"
Is it
exactly
working?
Yes.
Yeah, it's working. But yeah, that's really cool. And then to read all the stories of how he used to always be at that race, and then the pictures of his family on the boat when the Blue Blaster broke down there, like that's really cool. It kind of shows that our sport reaches a lot more than we can even imagine. And I feel like it's one thing I try to work on. And obviously we're doing with Chasin Tails is I want to get to the image where when you tell somebody you race a hydroplane, they know what you do. You don't have to go, well, you remember the Miss Budweiser? Because that's what it is. Every time you tell somebody you race a hydroplane, you
but kind of not like that.
Yeah, but kind of not like that. A little bit below. So hopefully as we keep growing, and obviously this content, I mean, HRL's done, H1's done, all these people putting out all this good footage is just going to keep making it grow. Social media is so powerful these days. We're going to not have to have that conversation of the Miss Budweiser anymore. It might be the Miss Mercury's Coffee. That might be the new Miss Budweiser with all the promotion they're doing for the races.
TJ said Truex runs RC boats too. Maybe we'll have to. Somebody should reach out to him, see if we can get him out to a race. I don't know where he's from, but maybe get him out to like Decatur or something like that. If we can get GPs out there.
Brandon tried to
Yeah,
hand him a
that'd be cool.
sponsorship pack in Daytona Beach when we lived there, and he never contacted us.
I did. Straight up had to print it out with the nice lamination, just handed it to him. He took it, but he must throw it in the trash.
Yeah,
Yeah, toilet
it
paper or something.
didn't go over.
I take it that same packet wasn't handed to Logano and Talladega a couple years ago.
No, I guess not. I
Wait,
think everybody
wait.
was just in awe that he was there to
That he
check out
came
the
over
boat.
to the boat on the golf cart.
Yeah.
As cool as that is, I think Joey Logano is the last driver in NASCAR I would want sponsoring my boat.
Right. Yeah.
Just
It's
saying.
got a long following.
Way
Bobby,
too
you
many
keep muting
people
your
who
mic,
cry in
man.
bull racing. We don't need Logano to add to it. I cannot stand that dude.
Him and Hamlin. Neither
Hamlin's
Yeah.
bad. Yes.
Yeah. Now the best one at Daytona when we were talking boat racing with these NASCAR drivers was before Brad Keselowski was big. He just got the Miller Lite ride, and he's up at the bar, thinking he's cool, signing autographs, and then the DJ's like, "I'd like to make a special shout out to," and he like turned like, "Yeah, it's me," and he's like, "Joe Pro Racing." We're like, "Yeah, that's us."
Oh yeah, that was a good. That was a fun night.
That's funny.
I bet he doesn't remember, but we do.
Yeah, right. Tommy Snyder does flies for him. I'll tell Tommy to remind him.
Yeah,
Ask him
remind
next
him. Just
time.
give him a hat. We got some
Yeah.
APR hats laying around still.
That's somebody we should get in the podcast one time, man.
Tommy?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Might
that'd
have
be
to
fun.
find-
Oh,
might, have to,
stories.
might have to figure out the auto beep button, but
Yeah, and give him some Xanax to settle him down or something.
no, we need
What?
authentic Tommy.
Wow.
Authentic Tommy. Yep. No holds bar, no censorship type of episode. I did talk to the Beeve and Bahormal about coming on. He's like, I'm not sure I can figure out how to work that, but I'll be there. I was like, my luck, he's going to show up at my house and do it right here next to me. Bobby,
That
your
would-
mic's
Why
muted
this thing
again.
is so
Why you
sensitive,
keep
man?
touching that thing, bro? Just quit grabbing it.
It's like people these days just sensitive. Anyway,
Yeah, but people aren't just touching people all the time.
oh man. So anyway, where's our agenda?
So you well, we pretty much talked about San Diego earlier.
You
Obviously,
missed
got
Corey.
anything to touch on. You missed Corey. He was just on.
They're still watching. I see Stacy's still watching. So if you got something to say to Corey,
Well,
you
I mean,
can.
I don't have to say it to him. He already knows he went out there and kicked ass. I mean, it was just, it was, everyone's thinking that Andrew was going to go out and dominate all weekend. I mean, the Strongs did their homework and they showed up ready. It was pretty cool. I, for one, I thought Andrew was going to have at least a few miles an hour on him, but Corey and Andrew in the one heat, I believe Sunday morning, were side by side, and Corey walked away. So then
He got
a fuel flow by. But the funny thing is, it was either Corey or Michael. Mike, it was leaving the dock. Right, he left the dock.
Was it? No, man. Yeah, he said there was they had to share fuel, and the fuel burned a little bit differently than the fuel they're used to. So they had to keep adjusting, and luckily they got the adjustments right for the final. That would have stunk to yet again hit a final, have a good one, and then another fuel flow violation. So glad they got it right.
I will say it's really cool that they've decided to redistribute the fuel. I know it caused some issues, but to do that and make sure that you can get every boat that's there on the water, and teams spend a lot of money and commit a lot of time to do that. So the fact that they, as an organization and as a group, decided to do that, or I don't know if they decided or they were forced. Regardless, I think
they
it was
did
a
it.
good decision. Yeah, and that just re-emphasizes the kind of the backbone of the sport, that we're all here to race, and we want to race each other. We don't want to be winning on the shore. We want to be winning on the water.
Terry brought up a good point. We keep talking about Corey winning the Gold Cup, but Strong Racing put 1 and 2 on the podium.
And I believe, what is it, 3
Yeah,
years in a
it
row
is.
that they won the Gold Cup? Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean,
it is.
That's awesome.
Impressive.
Yeah, because you had Corey this year, last year's J. Michael Kelly. The year before was Corey.
Corey.
J. Mike.
Oh, I thought Corey
No.
was back to back.
Year before.
That's. I mean, I don't know. It was. If you go watch the final, just for anyone who just watch it again and watch what Corey and J. Michael Kelly do during the warm up and where they position themselves and where everyone else positions themselves. This goes back to fighting for lanes. I mean, not in the big boats, but in the small boats and where you learn. And half of the field did not position themselves at all during the 5-minute warm up. They were totally out of place. But J. Michael Kelly and Corey, week in and week out, position themselves same as Jamie
and Mr. Yeah, I was gonna say
Lane
Mr.
One.
I was gonna say
Jamie Nielsen.
Jamie took his usual position.
He was like we asked him, "Are you going to give up lane 1 for the Gold Cup?" He's like, "Nope."
It was funny because
This
he
is
went hard
applesauce,
for
apple juice
early.
And I can't remember if it was. I think it was Brad was like, he's down in the corner, and I'm like, I don't think he's down.
You know what?
That's
what
down.
surprises me too. I mean, there's no 80-mile-an-hour rule anymore, and there's only been a couple of boats to actually troll this year. I mean, if that was 350s or 2.5 stocks fighting for the Gold Cup, they would have been trolling at 4 minutes in the right spot trying to get the inside. No one's trolling. Everyone's let's cut through the infield and let's go around the turn 5 times. And
they're trying to position, trying to stay up on plane.
Maybe there's more to it. Maybe it's harder than I think it is. I'm not sure. I'm not sure, but it just seems the Strong Racing has a really good grasp and Jamie Nielsen on what to do for this fighting for lanes, and they have it down. Now, one thing I don't like is they added a rule this weekend, which it was something like you had to go out and make one complete lap or start finish line at least once, which I believe you do that when you leave the pits. You go down the front stretch and you cross the finish line, correct?
Yes.
Isn't that what put Andrew in the infield?
No, Andrew put himself in the infield.
Andrew crossed. He went into.
Well,
he went into the infield before he got to the line. And
yeah.
Just from what I saw, I'm guessing he recognized the mistake pretty quickly and tried to correct it. But with drones and stuff, there's not much he can do.
I'm not sure what he was doing. He might have had a plan, and I'm not sure. But
yeah, if I had to just speculate. Because Corey said that, for the first time since he's been driving that boat, the thing did not take off from the dock. Like, just first try, no problem. I'm guessing they were probably expecting Corey to do that. And when that didn't happen, maybe they started to rethink their game plan and kind of got caught in the middle. I don't know. Maybe we're going to have Andrew on at some point and hear his side of things. But
yeah,
it happens. I've been there. I mean, I've been in a couple of heats. For the most part, I've done all right being around.
Yeah, I wish I could. I mean, it's hard to see what everyone's doing on the live stream because the live stream is becoming more complex now where they're showing different camera angles. So it's kind of hard to see what this driver's doing and that driver's doing and keeping an eye on them. But it would just be good to see it there. But it's just 3 boats, 3 out of 6 are definitely positioning yourself right pretty much every weekend in and out. So they got a grasp on it. I don't know. I don't know with unlimiteds if you would go to assigned lanes or not. Like GPs. I think it would be really hard.
It'd be hard.
Yeah.
I think they need to have more boats first. I think if they had 8 to 10 boats, it could work. But I think with what they have now, if you went to assigned lanes and you put that guy out in like lane 3, that's the max he's going to be in a qualifier 4 because they do the round robin thing. I don't think it would be as big of a disadvantage as it is in HRL.
No. So we touched. Go ahead.
Yeah, and I think I think with the unlimiteds too, like you can see in their qualifying, there's relatively decent speed disparities there too, and if you get the wrong lane arrangement, you could turn it into a parade very easily.
Yeah, I do believe that it would be a 1 or 2 boat parade. I mean, every weekend, if you go to assigned lanes right now with unlimiteds, I don't think it'd be a great idea. I think I think they're building right now. I think they're building right now. I mean, I think Bardish is getting more excited to come out. From what I hear, he's coming out next year, so that's good. That dude's got an arsenal of boats, so I don't know if he's going to bring 1, 2. He could bring 3. I don't know. And then really be cool if Gunnar O'Farrell would come out a lot more. I mean, just
for sure. That's pretty
congrats
new.
On
New boat could be competitive.
Yeah. Congrats to him getting engaged.
Yeah, for sure.
And get him more.
Yeah.
Getting him more seat time would be really good.
Yeah, he looked good in Tri-Cities. I mean, like, just like you saw with Corey when Corey first got started in Unlimited, like, you don't just go be fast on Unlimited. Like, I think even if you two were to hop in on Unlimited, it would take you a little bit to get to that top speed level. Those boats fly a lot different. They ride a lot different. It's a big time momentum game. But yeah, I mean, for a dude, I don't know all of Gunner's driving experience, but as far as I know, 2.5 mod, 2.5 stock, and unlimited. And you go send me out in an unlimited, and I don't know if that boat's coming back.
I think
no, it'll come back. It'll just be pounding off the water because I have no air under it.
With any class, it's hard for someone just to jump in a boat and go win. So I believe it's all about seat time and get Gunner some more seat time. I mean. Bert and Patrick, they picked up on the unlimited pretty fast with Bardish's boat a few years ago. But they've been driving forever.
Yeah, I think and I think, in my opinion, having Grand Prix experience makes it a lot easier because one time Jimmy Shane helped me in the Grand Prix. He's like, I know you see them 2-foot rollers. You can go through them. And unlimited, they're like 6-foot rollers. So he's like, it's all a mind game that you don't think you can go through these things, and those boats will tank right through them. So
that's one thing one thing I'm lucky right now is I just don't see them.
Yeah, because the window's fogged up.
It makes it a hell of a lot easier when you don't see them.
Yep,
keep your eyes on the buoy on the next turn. Don't even look.
Let me see.
I do have to mention this. I think we talked about this one of the early episodes. If Michael LaBouffe is watching, man, I know what you were going through when you were using your foot in Brockville to wipe off your windshield mid-heat, because that was me in Bahornwall. That was the wildest thing I've ever done in a boat. You don't normally go out and race with the intentions of staying behind the boat in front of you. I spent that whole heat just trying my hardest to stay at the back of Matthew's tail because it was the only thing I could see was his spray. And that doesn't help that boat's like dark purple. So like I was just like, I need to see a rooster tail so I know where I'm going.
Yep, exactly.
I put a wing button actuator button back together during a race. It fell apart like a pack on, and I'm like I picked up the switch and I picked up a spring, picked up another thing. I'm sitting there going down the straightaway trying to put it back together.
I gotta be honest.
I did that and electrocuted myself.
In Bahornwall, Dad kind of came up with that rig for our steering bar that's been bending and trying to better align the pulleys. And like, it looked good. I trust his engineering, but like, it definitely isn't the way it was designed to be. And I was like, I told myself, I'm like, I'm gonna have to grab these chains and drive with the chains at some point this weekend. I think I was just waiting for that bar to snap.
Did we touch on Grand Prix yet?
Who was?
Oh, we did.
Yeah, a little bit, but you're welcome to keep it going. We can talk more with your opinion on it.
It was quite interesting. You had fast boats. We had really fast boats. Actually, one really fast boat. I mean, I don't know what you guys touched, but Mike and Jolie Grandel's 79 with Jeff Bernard driving, that thing was smoking fast. You called it. You said it Grand Prix get up close to 170. 168, I believe, was the top speed. That was pretty freaking fast. So that's pretty cool from lane 5. That was very impressive. I don't know what guys were thinking on the start there.
Yeah, that's it. That's it. They all were back, and I mean that's the best way to win from the outside is when everybody's back on the start. It's like, yep.
When did Jack lose his wing?
Second turn, first lap.
I was trying to look at him.
Yeah, and I think they called Ken for it, whether it was Ken or what, but obviously he was the one right outside of him. But yeah, I mean, you watched him coming off that first turn. It was a pretty cool sight. I'll actually try to see if I can pull it up because it was a sight to see, seeing all those Grand Prix come off the turn. 7 of them, 7 wide off the first turn.
Yeah, you don't get to see that.
Yeah, some bad luck for Brody and, some other teams. I mean, Brody, he was going to be fast. I had him picked as top 3. I didn't pick the 79. I'm just going to say it. Didn't pick the 79.
That's what we said. We as Chasin Tails, they can shove us in the dirt.
Yeah, we didn't pick.
I don't think anybody picked them. And
I wasn't,
like,
and I,
you see us now.
I text Jeff and I told him, I was like, I didn't pick you. I did not pick you because of your driving. I didn't pick you because of the engine problems throughout the season. Yeah, and
attrition. Yeah,
I didn't think Brody was going to have problems, but he did. But hey, it's like gambling, man.
Yeah, I mean, I think there was 6, 7 engines blown that weekend.
Crazy.
So we touched on it a little bit about the mile and 2/3 course not seeming to provide the best racing. There was probably only 2 deck-to-deck battles that I saw all weekend. It was hard to watch every heat. I'm going to go back and review while we were racing, but I feel like did that attribute to the engines? You don't want to always blame these things and just say it's the course. Obviously, in these boats, anything can happen on any course. We blow a lot up on short courses out here, so it's not always the course. But it'd be nice to know from those racers, was it a little bit of the course? Because you're never giving that engine a break out there. No. But I'm not going to speculate without them saying what their failures were.
Oh, and where was the wild one at? GP 71? I thought they were going out. I didn't really keep up with all up the dates. I thought they were going out there and they didn't. Surprising.
Yeah, I guess they just decided to put it in for the year. Let's go ahead and share this. We'll go ahead and watch this final. So here's the start, about 10 seconds to go.
Dude, that was an awesome start by Austin.
Yeah. Awesome. Yeah, and you got Kevin was in there too.
Grand Prix America hydroplanes coming into the lower corner.
That's pretty
cool. Now they're going to look at that.
Awesome. That's awesome.
Them come off the corner side by side. We'll pick out who's got the lead when they get up here. But Jeff, this is a barn burner.
Man, these guys are putting on a show. It looks like Bernard has got the lead. So, no, those New Zealand guys were not going to gang up on anybody. Jeff says, no, thank you. I will take the lead, boys.
From lane number 5, and now coming out, it is Ken Lupton who has dropped down, but running down the front straightaway is Jeff Bernard and the reliable Diamond Tool. He's got just about a rooster tail lead over Jack Lupton on the inside.
So, yeah, that shot of them coming off
awesome.
That backstretch was super cool. Obviously, you saw Kevin in there getting a little squirrely. I mean, you're trying to hold it in lane 3, leave them guys too, but that guy tagged the start outside. That's really hard to do. So impressive they all made it through.
Yeah.
Turn 1 clean, but again, that goes back to if you have a big turn 1, you can have a nice coming off onto the backstretch, and then, like I said, the tight turn 2, and then we're back together again.
That was a good race by Jeff. He drove a really good one. Awesome start by Austin Ekreet. That was really good. Yep. And look at Harnack. I mean, that's his second weekend in Grand Prix, and he's right up there. Yeah,
second podium.
Would have been podium.
Would have been a podium at Tri-Cities.
Yeah, he's doing one hell of a job in that boat. So,
yeah, that's we talk about like the competition level and going out there with 13 of the fastest Grand Prix, mile and 2/3. Does it put on the best show? Does it not? And a lot of people said that these West Coast boats are a little heavier than our HRL boats, so on these bigger courses they can get wound up. But I went back and reviewed some video from Madison, and that GP12 beat Jack and Ken, or I think it was just Jack in Madison. So it was fast on that mile and a quarter course. It's fast out there. I think it's just all what you get used to. I mean, if you set your boat up for a mile and 2/3 and the mile and 2/3 only, obviously that's the only place it's going to be fast. But you set them up for the in between of a mile and a quarter, you're probably going to be fast on each one.
I think the 79. I think they got a good setup for both courses. Well, for all courses. I mean, he's been fast on 1 mile, mile and a quarter, and mile 2/3 now. So,
yeah.
So,
yeah, and I think I know Jack and them, they were kind of bummed out only getting one test session, and then you're almost playing catch up all weekend. They missed the setup for time trials. They were a little under geared, and with the propeller combinations and stuff, the gearbox run, it's really hard to figure out going up. Do I go up 4%? Do I go up 8%? And without test time. And obviously Jeff and them have been out there 3 times. So that definitely helps. But I mean, they also went faster than they've ever went out there. So they stepped their game up too, knowing the competition was coming.
It was some good racing. A lot of breakdowns, but it was also some good racing. Anyone hit a buoy? No, I didn't see any buoys get hit all weekend.
No, not there.
There was, I think it was Guillaume had one in.
Yeah,
Like,
Guillaume's
like
waiting
Bagon.
for
Yeah.
once needs his t-shirt, and I see Bipes just hopped on. So Bipes, we need t-shirts.
We gotta find someone to sponsor Chasin Tails so we can start paying Kyle for these t-shirts. I mean, the whole.
Somebody said Jack in the final.
Jack in the final.
Well,
Oh, and he beat Jack in the final. Must be Madison.
Okay.
TJ's talking about.
But yeah, the whole boat racing community just smacking buoys left and right. It's ridiculous.
They just want that t-shirt. So listen, guys, we just decided we're going to sign up as an APBA club. We're going to be our own club, Chasin Tails Club. So we're going to come up with whatever our membership dues are. You're going to get a free t-shirt with that. So you don't have to go out there and hit the buoy for a free t-shirt. You can take your pick of which t-shirt you want.
Yeah, you
try
just
to save you some money.
Because as an APBA
damage.
member, you have to join a boat racing club, and since we will be one, you can join ours and get a t-shirt and be part of the Chasin Tails boat racing club.
Yeah,
Connor just said Jack did hit a buoy in the final at Bayfair. It took out his canard.
Wow.
so I'm guessing he got forced into it then.
Yeah, I think that's what happened. I know he said he lost his lane. I didn't know he hit a buoy. He didn't tell me that. I'm not. He gonna get a special t-shirt. I don't know how they say. I don't know how they say buoy in New Zealand vernacular.
I do think for next year we got to get Bipes to make another shirt. That picture of Derek Anderson with that whole ass buoy slung over his shoulder, man.
We have Brian Montgomery with Montwork is going to come on and have this video because he was sitting there when he hit the buoy and he came out and was like, I want my t-shirt with the buoy in his hand. So he's going to post it up on Montwork and
I felt bad because he came right up to me, man. Like literally, he didn't even go over to his boat hadn't even been lifted. He came right up to me, asked me. I had him. I went and looked, and I was like,
3X.
Yeah, I was like, we only got a 3X, and the funny thing is, the son's like,
well, the crazy thing is, like, people in Valleyfield were buying them. Like, they wanted the buoy hunter shirt.
Dude, I want in the next couple years hitting a buoy to be like a crowd thing. Like when a buoy gets hit, the freaking crowd goes wild. I think that would be so cool.
Yeah. That one we posted on
a gun and start shooting them into the crowd.
Yeah, that one we put on Chasin Tails over Racine hitting it and it go flying. That's the coolest when you hit a buoy and it goes flying up in the air. That's super cool. I think Jimmy Stewart still holds the altitude record and Wildwood that year he hit the entrance pin. Man, that thing was like 150 feet in the air.
I think Austin's got the distance record though, bro.
Yeah, but he's never hit one officially.
No. Dude, I gotta stop watching the GoPro and the Insta footage from when he drives.
It's just rubbing buoys.
I'm like, dude, what are we doing here?
I think it's a goal of his to just see how close he can get.
Yeah, I think he's trying to see if he can go a lap and spin every single one of them in one lap.
Yeah, that's how some people do. Drive buoy to buoy.
I'll
get
be
him
honest.
out of
I
that.
get close sometimes, and my first reaction, I look back in that mirror. I'm like, is that thing there? Still?
Yep. We'll just take some skid fin angle out of it, so when he tries to get close, it just slides out a lane.
Yeah, right.
But Jeff put in the comments that he probably
Yeah.
would have been over 140 in time trials up for an average if he didn't do a wheelie and get out of the gas for 5 seconds. And yeah, it's probably true. I can't imagine. We talked about it earlier in the year, doing time trials in like rough race courses. How do you hang it out in like Sorrel Tracy? But I mean, that's a long straightaway and you're on the edge. It's not like you're racing the guy next to you. You're like, all right, I got enough. I can lift. No, you have to go all out. So
Yeah.
takes a different set for sure. I didn't know Jeff had that set.
Shout out, congratulations, Jeff, on the
Pretty
win
cool.
out there.
Yeah.
Yeah,
You
for
proved
sure.
us wrong.
Yeah, and did you see that special thing that happened? I don't know. There's some things going on in that team, Jeff. I saw the engines went somewhere else. Saw they were at Beck Racing Engines. Is that breaking news
Where's
or
that?
what?
Mm.
Arizona. He
Is that the
works
one
with.
that Huey was
I
promoting
think he
today?
works with Roger, and they're all connected somehow. When we're talking GP rules, his name keeps getting brought up. I think Huey's also good friends with that guy.
Yeah, Huey made a
So-
post, like a promotional post about that
okay.
place today.
Yeah, he does tons of motors. So who knows? Might be
Anybody
changing things up.
in the boat racing world that's got mechanic and high performance engine experience, I believe Huey's posted that they're looking for people. So go check out Huey Newport's Facebook page if you're looking for any job opportunities.
Nice.
You guys think we should move on to the small boat race from this weekend?
Yeah. Lake Hopatcong, it was definitely. It's always one of them races at the end of the year. I feel like it's a great one. Brings in those HRL boats, brings in some flat
Yeah,
bottoms,
thanks
a
to
ton of
Bill
skiffs.
Pierce. Bill Pierce keeps
It's
putting
good.
it on.
But he said that this was the last
that
year,
last
but then I
year.
was seeing him post on there. Already saw him post to a photographer. He's like, next year, look me up. We'll get you
Yeah.
out on a boat so you can take pictures out there. And then he's like, whoops, did I say that? But they need to get him some support. I mean, town's got some people that could help, but it's amazing what he has to go through it being a state park and all those logistical things, having to pay for
Yeah.
everything. That's what hurts a race when the town is a little behind it, but you have all these hoops to jump through. You got to pay for police, all that stuff. That definitely hurts. So hopefully they can maybe get some of that alleviated.
They got
Definitely
police.
get
Just
some more help.
Jay Hardy just
But
walks
it's an
around
awesome
with his
event.
badge. He's
That's it.
Jay
That's
Hardy
it.
just
That's all
popped
you
on
need.
too. Yeah, it's
Yeah.
awesome to see all the Canadian boats that came down. I know I started getting messages from one and then another and sending them the circulars and trying to help make arrangements for them and stuff. It was really awesome to see all them come down.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was a nice run event. Everything went pretty smooth. I would say that there was a ton of boats. It was actually warm this time. Last year it was a little chilly, so there's a lot of boats out on the water watching.
I think
so
it's
that's always cool.
I think it's cool.
As well.
How many different heats boats got to run? Like you had the S's, A and B,
A and B.
then there's so many boats on the water consistently, which made a very good weekend to watch on live stream. That's for sure.
I believe it allowed one of the 2.5 stocks from Canada to get his whole driver's test.
Oh wow,
Yeah, Luca.
Yep.
Yep.
that's
Yeah.
pretty cool.
And then did Bennett run mod too?
No,
just
he
stock?
only ran
How did he
stock.
do?
Yeah.
I'm sure, but I mean, he
Yeah,
did
Oh, he was
really good.
fast.
Yeah.
He was fast.
I was
Man,
talking
his
with
first
my
heat
dad.
out. Yeah, first heat out, he was on the outside cruising, and then it was like he just jumped to the inside and drove by somebody. It was like, all right, I see you, Bennett. You out there.
Yeah.
And it was right after I walked up to his dad before the heat even started. I was like, hey, your son's going to be better than you. He's like, come on.
Yeah, I was talking to my dad while we were watching the races, and I was like, 2.5 stock is going to be even harder next year, man. We
Yeah,
lost Kenny,
for
we
sure.
lost Matthew, we lost Jacob, but you're bringing in Bennett,
Yeah.
fast, Woody,
Yep.
fast.
Yep.
Luca looked quite fast,
Fast.
this weekend as well, and that boat's shown speed all year. Is there any other new ones coming in?
I don't know. I
those are the
feel
only two
like
at the moment.
they have to get everyone's response. HRL has to
Yeah.
get everyone's response. See who's coming back because
Yeah.
there might not be some in F, and they might move others up, or they mix it up to make sure the show's complete in both
Yeah.
classes.
And you got Remy taking over the the 751. That boat's
Yeah,
fast.
so that's
I
a
mean,
fast
Mark
boat.
was really fast in Bournemouth.
So a
Probably the
751
fastest
is
that
going.
boat all year.
So 751 is going
booking.
to S, from F to S. The
Going- yeah.
Bennet's
Yeah,
boat's
Remy's
going
taken.
from F to S, and then you got Woody coming in. So
yeah,
that's S. That's 3 boats added.
Well,
The-
the
then the
751's
three
not
move
really an addition because Remy was already driving just a different boat.
So
Well,
essentially,
what's that?
what they're going
What's
to
that
do
boat
is
going to do though?
like the bottom.
I'm sure someone will take
I
it
don't
over.
know. I don't know. Yeah, someone will probably take.
I mean,
Well,
it's
no,
still-
because it's
still
Derek's
technically
boat.
Derek's boat. Yeah.
So it's up to
Yeah.
him if he wants to put somebody else in it, I would say. But I think it's going to wind up being there's not going to be any bottom 3 move down because there's been so many in the F class that have to move down because of different drivers that they probably whoever was in the bottom 3 got to buy this year.
Well, I think that's what HRL wants. If they can just keep the F class, keep adding to the F class and replacing people in the S class. I mean, eventually you're going to have to cut it because you're just not going to have you're not going to have enough time in the day to run all the heats. But yeah, I mean it's cool to see, and it's awesome that in a couple of years we've seen like 6 new guys get into the 2.5 stock class. I mean, you got me, Austin, Jacob, we had Garrett for a minute. You got Bennett joining, you got Woody joining, you got Remy joining. I mean, that's the best thing for the sport there.
So I seen 2.5
for sure.
I didn't get to watch any T class, but 2.5s. It looked like Hearn and 2.5 mod Hearn and Jacob.
Well, that was
Hearn
2.5
and Jacob
mod.
were having deck-to-deck battles all weekend. That was pretty cool to watch.
Every heat they were deck to
Hearn
deck
just
for
needed
4
to find
laps.
a little bit
Like,
more.
A little bit. He did. He said, "Hey, see you, Jacob. You're going through my tail." Although there's a drone video on YouTube and there was plenty of room. It was kind of like we saw it in the Discord. I don't know if you saw that. The people are like, "Welcome to Formula 2500" because that's the lane you're going to get from now on.
Yep.
But yeah, man, I said that as a proof that the Honda's a good thing for the sport because they were glued together. I mean, it was the best show all weekend. I mean, 350s had some battles, stuff like that. Skips obviously always put on a good show, but they were deck to deck for 4 laps.
I mean, anyone wants to argue the Honda, just look at the F class all in the HRL all summer, and then look at the battles in Lake Hopatcong between the 2 Hondas. It was pretty amazing. You don't get that with 2 Fords ever.
Yeah. I'll tell you what, who shocked me this weekend is Gil figured it out. He finally found his speed he was missing all year. I mean, he was out front. He was out front of Jacob for a while until he spun out, and then I guess that's when he might have hit the Billy. But
so he figured out his speed. Now he just got to figure out the setup. Well, that's good for him. That's cool. I'm sure he's putting it away for the winter, happy knowing that his speed's back. Because it's been a long 2 years for him.
Yeah, definitely. And then H350, I mean, they only had 4. I was surprised more didn't show up, but I know with the inspections and stuff going on in HRL, some couldn't come, and obviously some were tore up that I know Hanu would have come, but obviously with his boat blowing over in Bahorma, he wasn't able to bring it, but they were 4 fast ones. And they mixed it up. Different people won. Patrick, I think, got the more of the winning of the weekend. He was pretty fast, but Paul was right there with him, just playing with setup, and the 306 Dog Nasty, I think is wicked fast. I think they're just a little setup changes away from being one of the top boats up there. I mean, they've obviously won a lot of heats in HRL. They're I can't say they're not top, but they're still learning that new boat, and I think they're gonna hit on something next year, and I think they're gonna be winning
Shannon
a lot.
Got a lifetime's worth of driving experience this year. That dude ran deck to deck. And every he ran in 350. I swear to God, I never watched that boat run where he wasn't deck to deck.
Yo, he's probably like, "Is there ever an easy heat? Can I have a gimme, please?"
and that guy just smile 24/7. Happy as can be, and it's cool because I think that's like a friend and family team.
Yes,
and that's what it's all about.
Yeah, they're
right
awesome. They have a good time at the races. Obviously, the Tremblays are from the Crane Group up there in Valleyfield, Quebec, so now they have their own team and have fun with that and have Tommy drive, and they seem to definitely be enjoying things and have a fast boat.
That's one of my favorite 350s. Like it's the boat,
color.
the color,
That's my
everything.
favorite
It's just badass looking.
Yeah, it's my favorite my favorite
Yeah.
paint job in the fleet, bar none. I love ours, but like that's just a color combination that you can't beat, man.
Yeah, there's certain colors that you know they're nice.
Mitch Brown said, "Bobby, just go to bed, killing me with the snot and
Man,
yawns."
I am sick
Man,
as
he's
hell
trying.
right now.
But yeah, so I mean, I think overall Lake Hopatcong was a success again. I think that race is kind of positioned uniquely. Not just the venue. The venue's awesome. Outside of the the hurdles you have to jump through, but you got the beach. You pretty much it's almost like you're racing in a stadium because you got all the houses and everything raised around it. And then it falls at a time of the year where I think people see their season end, and nobody's ready to wait 6 months to get back on the water. It's like, let's go do it one more time before we put it away in the garage. So
Yeah,
it's
exactly.
It's cool to see that race get that turnout like it does every year, and wish I could have been there. Hopefully we'll be there next year, and hopefully we start some heats.
Yeah.
Yeah, because we didn't last year.
Yeah.
I won't even get to finishing.
16 of them.
16, none finished, none started.
One start.
One
One start.
One start and
my.
one like incorrect start. Austin tried going out with the flat bottoms, but
Yep.
And then put a hole in the boat.
yeah,
Yep.
burned up the coil and
My. Again, hats off to another site, 2 back-to-back, doing the B final thing. I think that's the coolest thing for a lot of these guys that want to race their boats. I mean, it's hard. Even with us going with the skiff, we didn't know if we'd make the final. So knowing we would have a second heat, that definitely made it more worthwhile going. And the B final, I know in skiffs, they were pretty competitive heats. So it was very cool to watch. 2.5s. They wound up putting all the Hondas into the B final, so we got to see Jacob and Hearn go at it again. So
Which, I mean,
well.
every race site, if they don't have a lot of classes, they should do B finals, because look at these. All right, maybe not on the West Coast, but on the East Coast, you have guys coming from Ohio, Michigan, Canada, Virginia, Maryland. These people are driving. Some people are driving 10 plus hours to get to your race to race. So, to get them out in the water more than 3 times, or with some boats 2 times, is a huge deal. I mean, because people put hours and hours in on their boat to make it to a race, and to go run 2 times a weekend is to pay a $200 some registration fee and to get out 2 times after paying travel cost, hotel room, whatnot, parts for your boat. It's a huge cost, and only go run 2 times. That's just not fun. So to be able to do that B final and get people out in the water as much as possible is awesome. So hats off to Bill Pierce and the Lake Hopatcong Racing Association.
And not just putting it out there for the racers, but you're getting more heats out there for the fans that
100%,
came and paid to watch.
100%.
I think any race that has the boat count in a particular class but doesn't have the overall boat count to sustain a 5 to 7 hour show, A and B final is just it should be a no brainer.
Right, no brainer. Yeah, if not else,
you want to do hydro
and
hot
do
laps,
2 qualifiers.
fine, but
yep.
Yeah.
Or 2 qualifiers in a final. If we can't get APBA to go to a HRL format where it's 3 qualifiers in a final for the weekend, maybe 2 qualifiers in a final a day. Especially there, they could have done it. There was 5 classes, I think, racing, and they could have just left you in the water for your 2 qualifiers and then pulled you out, got you time for your final. I mean, just get you more seat time. Somebody I was talking to the other day was like, some of these guys tell me that they just don't want to run their motors that much because they only have 1 engine. I'm like, man, the rarity of who would say that is pretty. I would say pretty rare.
They wouldn't be there.
Right. I'm like, no, I want to run my thing
went
as much as
found I can. / bought a 3rd engine to come down there and run.
Yep.
He's not going to just limit it at that point.
Obviously, he found and bought the right one.
Yeah. Right. Yeah. Yeah. I was happy to see him get out there and run good again, because he's had a hell of a year, man.
For sure.
But
and obviously his skiffs put on a great show, as they always do. Jay Hardy was super fast. I mean, crazy to see. Jimmy's been like the pinnacle of that field for a long time, and Jay walked the dog on him like he was standing still. It was like, wow.
Yeah.
He's
Jay's
done a
his
lot of
homework.
work in. But I will say he knows that lake like the back of his hand because that's where he tests.
Oh, is that where he tests?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
Oh, I thought Jay
No, he
was
put
from
on
Greenwood Lake.
So why didn't
I
he know
think
there was a
I,
skiff sitting there in lane 2.5?
I think I don't know. I think he wound up mixing in right there. I think he moved down the lake back and right outside Lake
Oh,
Backham
okay.
from what I heard not too long ago. So yeah, he goes out there a lot. He had his pontoon boat out there, did his little Jimmy Stewart impression Friday night, took a bunch of people out. Mason fell asleep on the boat. They should have duct taped him and towed him behind the boat.
No, yeah, that's
No.
Jay Hardy's definitely gotten real fast. I remember when he was in his old skiff, and he was always there, always mixing it up, doing good, and then he got his new boat, and the dude's been pretty quick all year.
Yeah. Unfortunately, I did that in for him and my mistake and took out him and Big Bill or Little Billy. But obviously, racing, I know what I made the mistake of now, and it definitely pains me to do it. But I was so confident going into that final. I was like, me and Mason talked about it all morning. I'm like, we can go get lane one. Here's what I think is going to happen. I think Jimmy Stewart's going to leapfrog the field. We know where we had to be because we did it in the heat prior. We're going to leapfrog him there. But that racing up to turn two, whew, that get your heart fluttering. And I just got scared and I lifted, and that boat does not turn when it lifts. And obviously, everyone's probably seen the video by now. We went for that wild ride, and somebody told me only 2 skiffs have been upside down, and I'm not really proud to be the second one.
First one was Strickland
Yep.
in Detroit.
Well, shit, you
Hey,
went
Jake,
But
upside
didn't
down.
he blow over?
I
Yes,
was in
I
that.
believe
I
so.
was in that
That's
heat with
crazy.
Poppy. Me and Poppy nailed the start. We were out in front, and I'm watching Strickland. Man, I'm looking back, and he's going up higher, higher. Finally, he just went like this, and I was like, flip, flip, and Poppy's like, skiffs don't flip, and starts just beating the crap out of me. and then the flare shoots in the air, and he stops. He looks back. He goes, "No shit." I'm like, dude. I'm like, man.
And while we're on that subject, Erica's on the stream, and I want to shout out to Erica that her surgery went well, and we hope her quick healing with her hand.
Yeah, for sure.
Never fun to have something done like that.
Glad
Glad she's all right, and glad everyone else made it out all right. It's scary. When you get into you go racing, anything can happen. I mean, but everyone out there is friends on the water. You never intentionally try to do something to hurt anyone, and accidents happen. I've been in accidents with other boats, and it's never fun. People might get mad.
And for as short as you are, Brennan, it takes a big man to step up and admit to what you just admitted to. And
I've never did anything. I
appreciate the punishment there, and then
I have never did. Nothing was ever my fault though. I don't know what you're talking about, Brandon.
Yeah, no, it's different in this sport, and it just kind of all hits you at once. That obviously we blow over, we spin out, we do these things in hydras. It's usually a single boat accident. I mean, I've had my Grand Prix accident. I was on this other side where kind of spun and got hit, but it wasn't like my fault. Now it's one that's my fault that takes a lot of people out, and it's just like, God damn, we're all friends and we treat each other like family. We were all hanging out Friday night, and now we're leaving this race, and not only is my boat destroyed, but one, Jay's is really beat up. He got the brunt of it, and then Billy's obviously sunk too, and that hurts when they're like friends and family like that. Where car racing, I kind of compare it to that because obviously I've done that too. And you go into the first turn, you bump somebody, you pile up into the wall. It's like, all right, whatever, we'll rebuild, we'll go out the next race. But it just hits different for sure. And I mean, like you say, accidents happen, and it may happen again. I hate the starting procedure, but I put myself in that position, so I should have been able to control my boat, so I wouldn't blame it on that. But it won't happen again, that's for sure. I'll learn from it.
Yeah, because I'll be driving next time,
and I won't say. I did say I'll never get in a skiff again, but I'm already getting that itch. I don't know what the hell that addiction is.
I like your initial reaction.
Yeah, so does everybody else. I think I'll have to find a rider. I think he's out.
I'll ride with you.
I will tell you that sitting here, the four of us sitting in the living room watching that, and literally all four of us got up and ran to the TV like maybe it was going to get us there so we could be there. And it was just like It was awful.
Yeah, I can't. But I mean, the video shows how fast we got out. Like as soon as I got hit, I was like rolled over and under, and I'm like, this isn't coming back up. So I'm like, not again. Got out really fast, and then I mean, Region 4 was right there. Rebels in the water, and he went to Mason though. That kind of made me mad because I'm over here swimming for my life.
Jen probably threw him a couple bucks, man.
And realizing once again that I probably should wear a life jacket for moments like this. I hate them for every other thing, but for a moment like this where I'm trying to swim, and then I think Ken Smith pushed me over to the boat, so I was like like Titanic holding on to the iceberg. I was like, all right, now I can breathe again. But yeah, they were fast, and Rebel grabbed Mason. Mason's like, that's the first time I've ever been scooped up by a guy, and I liked it.
He is one to the dark
like,
side.
That's pretty bad.
Oh, wait, he said that
Yeah.
to Rebel. Oh, Rebel got real excited then. Oh,
Yeah, he
don't
said
say
that to Rebel. Yep. And then so then I had to tell him the story. I said, you know why I kicked off your chest getting out, right? I was like, because this is the first time I've ever crashed in Region 4. And Rebel told me a long time ago that if I ever crashed and he got to me before I got out,
Yeah,
it was
it's
getting teabagged.
That's the same
Brandon
thing he's
wasn't getting
told me.
teabagged.
I was like,
Nope, wasn't going to happen. But yeah, the biggest mistake Mason made is he dropped the camera. He was holding the camera for that heat. Probably got some really, really cool footage. Dropped that thing.
I think
Yeah.
I saw
Cool,
it go
man.
by in the video.
You definitely see it go by in the video. The last one he held on to the start clock, came up with it. I'm like, yeah, we hit the start a long time ago. You can get rid of that. But this time we let go of the camera.
Boats can be repaired. People can't. So I'm glad that, everyone came out all right. And, glad that Jay Hardy's girlfriend, Erica, glad she's healing.
I did tell Jay the best thing for a splint is a ring on her left finger since that's the one she broke.
Oh.
I don't know if they want to get married or they've had that conversation, but I was like, hey, I'm going to throw this out there.
They'll keep that bone in place for sure. Damn.
I'm waiting for Jay's response on that. I know I saw him here a little while ago. I know Eric is here.
So we got another one coming up this weekend, hopefully.
Hold up. I have a little Chasin Tails exclusive of the other accident that happened there. The 2.5 stock, your old 2.5 stock that took a wild ride down the back.
He's on here too.
Yes, sir.
Nice.
Chasin.
I didn't get
He just picked the boat up at our shop today. We did a little work to it, got the water out of the motor, got it all ready for the Nationals this week. So he was showing me the video, and I'm like, you got to give me that for Chasin Tails. So
what are y'all
let
laughing
me
for?
pull that up.
Because the cat just came running out of the bedroom and jumped up in front of the monitor.
Oh, we had it on board?
There we go.
Oh,
Yep.
hell yeah.
He has that thing moving.
Oh yeah, it's rolling. Him and Kevin were side by side. I mean, inches apart.
He didn't even move the wing. Didn't even move the wing.
Oh.
He said it was just riding there. What he felt was perfect, and then all of a sudden it went over.
It does look like it went pretty quick.
That wasn't hanging it or anything. It just popped.
Nah.
So I told him there's like a wake right here.
Yeah.
Possibly.
Yeah, probably.
Yeah.
I guess I'm reverbing here. But, and then they were deck to deck. I mean, almost touching. And I think Kevin separated right about that time that he took off. So they were probably sharing the air too. And then, shoom, took off there.
It's a good thing they weren't.
Yeah,
he
launched off the roller, the wake.
Yeah.
But I can't believe how that boat withstood that. There's no damage. The cowling stayed
well,
on.
like I told, like I've said this in the past. If you're going buy a boat that was built for Henderson. That was built for Kent. And then we bought it from Kent. Well, Sam Horner bought it from Kent, and I drove it. But yeah, I mean, so I think it was built with a little bit more tender love and care.
Well, hey, Tyler's boat was built for
no. Tyler's boat, that wasn't built for him.
Oh, it wasn't. I thought it was brand new.
Nope. No, Yeah, that's you about to lose power or what?
I got one of these LED
You got a
bulbs
disco?
that's
You got disco
trying to go
going on
out
in
on
there?
me. Somebody said it's party time. But yeah,
Bob, we don't need you playing that music, man. I've seen that story too many times, bro.
So the problem with, I mean, Woody's running
Yeah,
really
he's
good.
doing
I'm proud of
awesome.
how he's doing
Yeah.
in his 4th race. But there's one problem. He's running the Iron Head, and it's very competitive. So now we're going to have to stay in the Stone Age, and we're going to have to keep running these dang things.
Has he
for
got
the
a
next 20,
Beauport?
30 years.
Yeah.
Yep.
Can you still get them?
I think
Yeah,
so,
can't
but you
get a
can't get a
camshaft.
camshaft. You can get a head, no camshaft.
So you can't get the aluminum head and you can't get a camshaft. So you can go get the iron head if you want, but you're going to have to go dig up camshaft out of.
Writings on the
Yep.
wall.
Yep. So we'll
Oh,
we'll save
don't
that
worry,
rage
Skiffs. We're
episode for
gonna
another-
find
another
a
one.
new up-to-date engine to put in you guys and have nice fuel injected and everything.
Dude, I say we just take the K-boat engine and throw it in the skiff.
No, they just need to go 350.
You know what's funny? You know what's funny about that? Jimmy and I were talking about that. I don't know, this weekend, another weekend, I don't know, sometime BSing. That like all these guys in their river boats, they put these big engines in them. Oh, I make 450 horsepower. And then Jimmy just goes by them on the lake. It's
Yeah.
like, it's still all
Yeah, it's
propeller and
setup.
balance, man.
It's
You
setup.
can put any engine in it you want. It ain't going to go no faster.
There's a guy on our lake. There's 4 guys that all own Donzies. And, like, I'm telling you, I bet all 4 of them got dogs named Donzie. Like, it's their life. I'm telling you, they're definitely divorced or going to be divorced because they're married to their damn boat. And like a couple of them have come by when we're working on the boat and ask all these questions about it. And they immediately, like when we talk about the boat, they go and start talking about theirs. And I'm like, oh yeah, this thing's putting out all this. And I'm like, you wait till we get a permit to put this thing on the lake.
I'm
You
coming
wait.
by you.
You wait.
So we got a race
Oh.
coming up.
But anyway, yep, APBA.
How's the
Summer
weather looking?
Nationals.
Hopefully.
Weather,
Not
I
good.
not
Last I
too
looked,
hot.
last I
I
looked,
don't think it's going to rain,
15 mile an
but
hour
it's going to be
wind.
windy.
Ooh.
15 to 20
Man, I'm glad
northeast, which is straight under or straight up the
Glad
backstretch.
I'm not driving Greg Isaac's boat there.
That's all right. Bobby blew over down the front stretch, so backstretch, no problem.
Yeah, that bridge.
That wasn't even at the bridge. It was just full sending it.
Yep, full send.
Bob was
That was
playing
send it
SpaceX.
before send it was a thing.
Yeah. Yeah. What we call a hammer.
But yeah,
so
we-
so it's I believe
see.
we got word that some 5 liters from out west are coming, and some.
Yeah,
Go
I just
ahead,
pulled
yeah.
up. I just pulled up that super secret text because
Yeah,
I
me
could not
neither.
remember who he said was coming. But the E3's coming. We got the T1 and the T8 coming, and the T8 right now is 8 points ahead of the T1 for national high points with only 2 races left. So that's super cool for them. And like we said on the last podcast about them coming out here experiencing that, that's awesome for them.
Yeah. So
And then for
no, go ahead.
Go ahead, Bob. So for 2.5 stocks, you got the S12 and S6 planning to come out. Now, I don't know. This was last week, so I don't know if weather changes any of their decisions to travel across country. I know I'd probably be a little hesitant if
I know Davenport's
thought it
already
was
on
gonna
his
be.
way.
Davenport was
Oh.
in
Davenport's
Wyoming
got
yesterday.
get the
There you
S9 ready. So I'm just kidding. Just kidding. So the only one Justin Weimouth's only one of his boats are coming. Oh,
Yes,
okay.
only one, which is surprising. And I don't even know what E3.
That's
That's
Jeff's,
the fact.
yeah.
That's Jeff's, right?
Yeah.
Yep. Yeah, so I mean, they're gonna mix it up with
So
some of the boats. You're gonna have a good field of 2.5 stocks, obviously. I wish I don't think Grant Lettycoat's running 2.5 stock. Maybe he is. It's kind of secretive, I guess, but
Yeah,
hopefully.
I heard a
I mean, I
story
think-
there.
well, there's
Yeah,
just
I
let you
think
know. There's
like
already
multiple
a
stories.
Ford in the F500, so maybe that 500 is going to go to Hampton.
Ooh.
I know their plan was Caesar's Creek, but Eddie never seems to want.
Eddie tries to act like
I'm sure
he doesn't know anything, and I'm like, well, this is what I heard. He goes, how do you know?
Yeah, I mean, you got all these boats that are coming. I mean, that could come, that could compete. I mean, obviously, Al, we all know he's fast with John driving, and The S12, obviously one Decatur, he's fast. So if you could mix in Grant and Eddie in that mix up of those top 4, man, that shit, it'd be incredible knowing the speed.
Oh
they've
yeah, that
had
would be
all year.
awesome. I'm kind of wondering, is the game on coming in the 350? Patrick loves Hampton, so
I believe it was. There was one point in last week that we were supposed to tow it back here and it was going to stay at our shop, but we didn't do that. So I'm really
it did
not
get
sure.
towed back somewhere else. I heard.
Okay.
If I remember.
you know,
right, which I
if
would
you're
imagine
if you're
means it
watching,
wouldn't
if the game on's going, and if you're watching, I'm calling out. I want Dog Nasty there. Paul
Yep.
Barber.
It's got to be there.
I know you had your issues throughout the summer, but that boat is fast on bigger courses. I mean, it was fast out west.
Paul, we can do an emergency Chasin Tails episode and have you on to get your
Yeah.
luck in the right spot.
And then you're going to win. Then you're going to win.
We
If
can
he's
do it
on, if
live.
he's on, we can bring him on right now.
We can do a live Saturday morning. if we need
Paul
to.
ain't on. Paul's out there grinding on the boat. He said, I got to make changes after Lake back on. That thing's already cut apart, I'm sure.
Yep.
Oh,
So, yeah, I
speaking
think-
of him, I got to take a shout out to his team, Dominique, Fred, and Melly.
holding
They
your
all
boat all
held
weekend?
the skiff all weekend. Paul's like, if my crew doesn't want to come back, I know why. It's because they just sat in there and held your boat for 2 hours.
Wait,
And then I found out Paul Barber's haul truck there is named after Dad. His haul truck's name is George.
Oh my goodness.
It was crazy about Paul.
Dominique walked up and was like, "Is George open?" And my dad's like sitting there like, "What?" Paul's like, "That's my box truck's name."
hey, it's the only thing that didn't break down all summer.
Right, exactly.
Bob, shut up.
Yeah.
So
That's crazy. What's crazy about Paul, like similarly, you know, he had Corey driving his own boat home after winning the Gold Cup. I remember in Tonawanda, Paul finished heat, comes off the dock, goes up, gets in George, and backs it up down
Yep.
to the
Just
grain to
doing it,
load the boat.
doing it all,
It's
doing
just-
it all.
it's
well,
crazy, man.
Corey
Paul's nonstop.
Corey's not just a
constantly.
driver; he's also the team
Yeah.
manager. He works on
Yeah.
the boat full time, both boats full time. He's got a heavy workload with that strong racing team.
For sure.
But I think he enjoys it. I'm sure it's stressful, but you can tell there's a serious level of passion there.
Oh, for sure. So, what else do we got going on in the other classes? Obviously, I mean, you got a lot of T boats going. You got a lot of 2.5.
Yeah, T-boat,
2.5 is going to get
Yeah.
interesting. If we're going to have the H300, I wonder if they're going to go the H300. If they're showing up, Bobby King's probably showing up,
He'll be there.
and the
In
two,
the 2, I think.
and then the
I
game
think.
on, and then the E3. You're gonna have a pretty fast field of 350s there.
Yeah.
Then
It's gonna be a fun one, man.
skiffs, you'll get your normal. I seen Clyde McFarland out, bro. If you do not make it to Hampton, Virginia, I'm not calling him
He ain't
anymore.
making it.
Always
I just
saying,
talked to him
I'm
yesterday.
testing.
He'll be
I'm going to test. He get that prop done?
Yep.
I got
Not yet. We tested some. He's got feedback now.
Doesn't
so
turn.
We no, that was a different problem. That was back to the original setup that I thought was going to be a good one, but we'll scrap that and go back to his setup. So
I was told that Birdsall and Clyde are coming to
All right.
Hampton.
ooh. You're not
That's
supposed to give
top
that
secret.
top secret out.
That is
She
top
didn't hear
secret.
from me. But I know Clyde is not. He didn't get his carburetor in time, so he's
well,
got to go
Oh.
test
good thing
it.
he can use. Good
So,
thing he can
I'll be
use
in
the
Lakeland.
JS35 carburetor.
That's what I said. You're the one that told me to buy this carburetor, so yeah. So, but it'll be a good field of skiffs. I know Jimmy and Max and them are working. Max put some the rod through the side of the block this weekend, so they're working on putting an engine together. And they're gonna get there. Brendan says he's gonna be at a wedding. That's pretty disappointing. I'll take
Wow.
it.
And it's not his own, so
Well,
yeah,
Yeah,
hopefully
and
the
then, I
weather
don't know,
holds
or-
out for all this.
I think there's going to be national mods as well. I think the 30's going. Obviously, some of the Region 6
Greg
guys,
Isaac's been working on his boat a lot lately, so I'm assuming he's trying to make Hampton.
Yeah, either there or Lakeland for
Yeah.
sure, I would think.
Who drives Isaac's now? Is it Mike Monahan still?
I think whoever's there. I don't know. Mike was driving,
And then
but then
Steve,
he drives for
oh,
PJ.
that's right.
I don't know.
Then Steve Kerr
was driving.
Yeah. Oh. Interesting. So all right. So we'll have next week. It looks like we're going to have the Summer National wrap up as long as the wind stays down, and then they can get some heats off.
Is there any provisional?
Yes.
set by the IRC or anything? If
There
it
was
gets blown
something
out?
set last year at the meeting. I think if it gets canceled, it would go to Lakeland, but I'm not
But
positive.
is that if it gets canceled prior to, or if they get blown out the whole weekend?
Oh, yeah, I don't know.
That I don't know.
Like if the
I
event,
don't
if the
remember.
event actually happens, like if they make everyone go there and sit in the wind, like obviously weather could change, but be the question.
Yeah, well, I hate to say this after last year, but they can hit Caesars Creek on the way back for nationals.
Yeah,
I'll just hit
exactly.
Caesars Creek anyway. It's going to be a good time.
Oh, I think many of them are because of the points chase. So
Yeah, might as well. It's on your way back, kind of.
The T-boats can
up
stop
and
there.
around.
We can just throw some Hondas in with them because why not? Why not combine?
Sick. Honda can fit in every class.
Yeah, exactly. Just detune it a little bit. So all right, so we got Hampton wrap up next week, and then we'll be talking about Caesars Creek. We'll see who's crowned the Summer National Champions. A couple classes are going to get pretty heated. That's going to be pretty interesting to watch. Do we know if they have live stream there or not?
Not sure.
I do not.
They didn't have it last year. I wouldn't imagine, but maybe.
No,
Are you
I'm
talking
talking
about
about
Lakeland?
Hampton.
Or
Hampton.
Oh, Hampton. Yeah, I'm not sure.
I don't know, but it's another shout out to Lake Hopatcong. I mean, what a phenomenal live stream. They hired a production company. Man, they had wires all over, and they had a pit cam. They had a cam on the beach or higher up on the beach, and multiple.
They
angles.
even had a
that was
camera
really cool
showing John
shots, and-
Tomey. I kept all of a
they?
sudden it would.
I saw him a
pan to
couple
him, and he's
times.
just sitting there with the mic.
Just chilling. Just doing Tommy things.
Kyle Bipes. Yes.
Bobby's
I
driving.
just
in
answered
Caesar
a question.
Hey, he's trying to figure out how many Bowie Hunter shirts he's actually having.
Well, last year I would have got 2 in mod. 2 in mod. I took out 2 buoys in one heat. Actually, I think I took.
Look, hold up. Don't give the wrong impression. You only get one You only get one. You hit a buoy, you get one. You're in the club. You ain't getting one every time you hit a buoy. I can't afford it.
No, there should be different colored shirts. You get a silver shirt, and then you get a bronze shirt, and then for your third buoy you get a gold shirt.
Hey, Bipes, can we afford that?
We got to get someone to sponsor
the tiers of buoy hunters. We'll definitely have Vilwalk with the top tier after Dillock.
Terry said level up.
Nobody can touch that. But yeah, I feel like we're at that point of the show where it's closing thoughts. Any closing thoughts on the past weekend, or what you're looking forward to most coming into Hampton? Go ahead,
Past
Bob.
weekend, hats off to all the
Patty.
Canadians that came down and ran with us, and glad to see that Brandon and Mason and Jay and Erica and
Dusty,
Billy and
Dusty
are okay. Boats can be repaired. We're just glad you all are walking.
For sure. That's for sure. So, I'm tired. I'm beat.
How about you, Bob?
I'm tired.
Just tired.
I had fun watch. I kept flipping back from Lake Hopatcong to San Diego, Lake Hopatcong to San Diego, and I stood out. Jeff Bernard was pretty dominant in GPs. The Strong Racing boys, they were dominant in Unlimited, and with Corey walking out on top. Didn't get to watch 1 liter mods, but we all know J. Michael Kelly probably won. And Timmy Collins. Oh, Jeff won?
Jeff won.
Jeff from Downey again, bud. I'm sorry. These guys are going to run me over in a car. But, and then, the 2.5s, Chris Veneris proves that a monkey can get in that boat and go win. That boat's just freaking fast. And that's 92 F92. That's 92.
And
No,
you're
I'm
not
not
calling
calling him
Chris
a
a monkey, right?
No. I'm just saying.
Remember, he held
Except,
some records.
yeah, that's true. That's true. Well, actually, not a monkey.
With
I'm sorry,
limited seat time. The better word would be someone with limited seat time
yes,
can get
a
in
monkey
that boat.
cannot get in because obviously Dominic Mezenoff flipped it. But
Yeah, exactly.
So, yeah, that boat was dominant through the weekend, and then you had 2.5 mod. You had Grant and Jacob just battling out with Jacob coming out on top most of the time, I believe. Then 350 handed Patrick Hayworth. That dude is flying in that boat. And then Skiff, I know he didn't get to run the final, but I say the JS22 is probably the fastest skiff out there right now. I mean, it's wicked fast. So, if they would have got to run the final, just I think he would have came out on top. That thing's smoking. So, and I don't think there's any other classes there. Oh, T-boat. I didn't get to see any T-boat classes, T-boat runs. But...
There's flat
Oh,
bottoms
Britain?
and Britain won.
Oh,
I think
okay.
every heat.
Okay.
Yep.
Yeah, he's fast.
Yeah,
he
he's
just needs to
fast.
come out more. I know
exactly.
his home race is like a pack on, but
yeah.
But yeah, that it is cool.
He was in Decatur.
Oh yeah.
You're just making me look like I don't watch flat bottoms or anything.
They were parked right across from us. That's the only
I
reason
mean,
I know.
I love the flat bottoms.
You got anything, man?
Yeah, I think it's again had good shows all weekend. When no matter what coast you were on, you got people still traveling back from San Diego that long trip. Saw Terry just posted that they're about an hour from home with the GP10, and we were going to get Kevin Ekert, the GPA champion, on tonight, but with him driving, he wasn't sure. So we're probably going to get him on next week. Talk to him for a little bit. Talk to him about their season. Obviously, Richards Racing fielding 2 boats, one winning the championship and one being competitive towards the end of the year. They're definitely looking for a strong 2025. So it'll be interesting to get their thoughts on this year and then moving forward.
Yeah, congratulations to Kevin Ekert on his championship. Coming out, getting that boat and winning a championship. That's no easy task. I mean, look how many people grab a boat and they don't put together a year for a couple years, and they did it in 1 year. So that was pretty impressive. He was very consistent, ran good, hit his starts, was always there. As far as I can remember, I believe he made every final too. I think he broke down only once or 3 times.
3 times.
I mean,
3 times. Yeah, they corrected us earlier.
I was thinking it was 2 for some reason, but okay, so only 3 times. That's not bad. That's not bad. And then they finally turned that GP17 around. What? Am I talking too much?
No, look at Grendel's comment.
I can't look at comments. I don't have it up.
It says, yeah, baby, to all you. Yeah, he's West Coast fast. He ain't East Coast fast. Grindel. I can say that this year. I'm going to get my ass kicked by him next year, but that's okay. I'm going to say it now, Mike.
Say it now. Yeah.
But yeah, that's that. Hey, competition's fierce. This is a growth year for GP for sure. Next year is going to be insane. I feel like Huey said it for the past 10 years. Oh, next year. But I think these past 2 years.
Oh, and then was it a kind of a hidden message with Kevin Ekert wearing a 32 shirt? Does that?
I don't know.
What
I think they go way back in the friends. Him and it's a Sylvain Duray shirt. So they were friends from Valleyfield, but the 32 obviously.
I don't know what he's talking about. I already put in my resume to try the 32 with Brian Richards.
Right.
But no, that's cool. It'd be interesting to see what their team plans are for next year with the 3 boats. If they plan on running 3, running 2, running 1, who knows? It's a big task just to run 1 GP, let alone 2 or 3. So I don't know. A lot of cool things going on in the GP world, and there's a lot of participation growing in all the other classes, which is cool. So, especially on the East Coast, especially with all these
I'd
Hondas
say.
wanting to run 2.5 stock. Wink, wink.
The Chasin Tails proposal will be for 2.5 stock, Y boat, and 2.5 mod. So you can run 3 classes in one weekend. That's what I think should happen.
There's a 2.5 stock just bought in
Fine-tune the
Michigan.
details.
It was bought in Michigan, headed out east, and the owner said that he has to update the engine, and he's kind of eyeing up that Honda because it's cheaper and easier.
Yep, there you go.
Just got to be legal.
Yep, we're going to work on that. But to wrap up the talk about Grand Prix, back to them and their growth year, we're trying to push, obviously, HRL and GPA had a great year with their GP challenge, but I think it needs to be mixed up a little bit of the races. I think we need to show some love to the West Coast. What do you guys think of having the GP challenge and at San Diego? Maybe
I
with
say
100%.
I think if they can go to 1.25 miles, I think they got themselves a deal. I think a lot of teams would be willing to go out there. Obviously, you had some HRL committee out there, so maybe it's in the talks. I don't know. I mean, but it would be really good to mix it up and show some West Coast love, and not just have the GPA challenge, HRL challenge on the East Coast. We'd like to say the Midwest is kind of like going west a little bit, but because all the teams are already traveling. I mean, we already travel a crap load, but but to go to the West Coast would be a true GPA HRL challenge.
Yeah, definitely, which I think be cool. These big venues are awesome for it. Everyone I've talked to loved the challenge and loved what it created for our racing. So I think it's something to build on. I know there's going to be conversations starting. Another race that I heard might come back. Kyle Bipes, the new Madison Regatta president, told me the guy that taught him everything is talking about bringing back Owensboro. So that might be a cool thing if they take their committee down there and bring back Owensboro. That was a cool race, middle of the country again. Be a sweet spot for a GPA challenge race.
Yeah, I mean, open up the GPA challenge to a little more than 3. I think it would be good to have about 4 or 5, probably 5 in the GPA challenge. I mean, I know we run 5 races. Is it 5 in HRL? 6, but
6.
I mean, we got to look past GPA or HRL. The Grand Prix world. Right. I mean, we're supposed to be a premier class, right? And if we can bring together all these teams, we can have one hell of a show to sell. I mean, and that's it's all about.
If you can nail it down, like 13 boats were out in San Diego. If you can add, you probably easily add 3 or 4 to that. If you get them all, like, hey, this is the circuit we're running, let's do this. And you go to these bigger venues that can afford this show, and put out the money, not discrediting any other event in the sport, but obviously that's why HRL decided to go to the Pro Hydro route, because they were ready to let the Grand Prix go as long as we show up to Valleyfield. At least that's what it seemed. They didn't say that out loud, but that's what it had seemed to us GP teams. So it's possible that this is the writing on the wall, and this could be something good for the sport. And like we said before, there's a lot of teams that have smaller boats. Obviously we do, the Luptons do, the GP50 does. So it's all the trickle down effect. If we can go out there and promote our show and have good following and grow our brand, then it obviously trickles down to the smaller classes at those events.
I mean, it's nice to where we had these races to let GPs as a class grow, but now that we're having premier events wanting to put on GPs, it's kind of hard to say no, because at the end of the day, all these big GP teams and these bigger engines, they don't run on pats on the back. I mean, it costs a lot of money. I mean, ask Ronnie Thompson, Mike Grandel, the Luptons. I mean, Richards Racing. Look at all these teams that it costs a lot of money, and these premier events are paying good money that it's kind of hard to say no to. So if we can all come together and make one badass series, I mean, we'll only grow from there. I mean, we already have.
Boat racing.
I mean,
yep. Just in 1 year doing it. I mean, I feel like since the COVID break, it's been constant growth in the Grand Prix, and then this year just kind of did 2x of it, or more X. I mean, just we haven't even tapped into the potential of what we had, because in the season it's hard for these series and everything to get all the videos out. Once you start posting that stuff on social media and seeing the shows we had everywhere, it's going to grow us through the winter, and then you're going to hit the ground rolling next year with some serious momentum if you have it lined up with the right races and the right show going.
Did you say it on the last episode, or you might have told me in a phone conversation? I don't remember. The Canada boys coming back next year?
I believe so. There's talk. They're looking for a sponsor, but there is talk of them coming back. They haven't
the Kia dealership yet,
and I don't think they're actively trying.
Yeah, exactly. I heard it behind wall that there is a sponsor. It's so just tied to a driver.
It's tied to a driver.
So we'll see. I mean, you know that when they got it all ironed out, there'll be an announcement, I'm sure. And obviously that team's won you one around. They're very professional. They're very have a good 100%. Look to them. All their rigs are nice. And now I think you've seen the speed of the boat, and now it's probably got them excited. Like, wow, we have a fast boat.
I mean,
we just need to put it in the right places.
I mean, not knocking Robin, but Kent, he knows how to handle himself in a boat, and he definitely showed that the Canada boy can run up there with everyone. So
it can fly, right? He's tried to fly it everywhere he's went, but nothing replaces seat time. Yeah. Kent's got a lot of it. He's an old guy.
Yeah, he's
been around for a while.
He's full of gray hair now. Look at him. He's got to grow that beard back out. He's doing a clean shave thing. It doesn't work, Kent. Grow back out, bud.
But anyway, folks, we've hit our 2-hour mark. Hopefully you enjoyed listening to us for that long. I think we got some cool things coming up with the Summer Nationals and all these other races happening to close out the APBA inboard season. We appreciate you listening in and watching us on Facebook Live and YouTube. And definitely like, subscribe, and follow. And
safe travels to everyone headed east.
Have a good night.
Have a good night.
We still recording?